What the? Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Today we are looking at What the, number 6, featuring a main story by John Byrne, a beautiful cover by John Byrne, and some other fun backup stories. Can't wait to show it to you. I love this book. It's sort of like Marvel's version of Mad Magazine or something like that. Oh, by the way, subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. Helps the channel out a lot. So, like I said, this is like Marvel's sort of comedy book, and John Byrne is hilarious. I know you wouldn't think so, but he always cracks me up in interviews, and I feel like his slightly cartoonish style and just humor, I mean, he brought a lot of humor to She-Hulk, so he was a perfect candidate, and he made several contributions to this What the series. I forget how long it lasted, not like super long. But it's funny because even in this cartoony style, I just love John Byrne's art. That is such a great cover. And this is long after he's left Alpha Flight. Maybe not long after, but I love that he's including Vindicator, the Heather Hudson, because like he never wanted her to don the costume. And that's like one of the first things Bill Mantlo did when he took over. It was kind of weird. It was almost like Bill Mantlo had a grudge against John Byrne because he systematically destroyed everything Byrne built and kind of ruined Alpha Flight irreparably in a lot of people's eyes. But these fun, exaggerated cartoon versions are just amazing. I love, like, the anatomy of the Punisher, and it's, like, a super cool Wolverine. This is sort of like like, you can tell what era this is from. He must have been on West Coast Avengers because, or Avengers West Coast, as it would become, because we have the White Vision there and from his storyline. And then Shaman in the... probably Mike Mignola designed version of his costume, or Dave Ross, and Wonder Man. I do love that costume for Wonder Man. I love Wonder Man. Like, red smoking jacket and all. So, here we go. That's fun. I love the black and white art on this page. And this is so cool for so many reasons. Written and penciled by John Byrne, inked by Terry Austin. I love Terry Austin as Byrne's inker. He says they grew apart. I know that he was never, like, his favorite inker, and they worked together so much. Probably fan service, hopefully. I don't know, but whatever. Screw you, John Byrne. It looks fantastic. I love it. So John Byrne is writing and penciling it. Inking is Terry Austin. Lettering by Rick Parker. I love Rick Parker's letters. Like, he does, like, the little, like, texture and, like, the rapidograph lines on his... letters, which made him the perfect letterer for Todd McFarlane, I feel. Colors by Mike Rockwitz. Interesting. I feel like I know his name more as an editor for Marvel, but, you know, maybe just for fun he colored this. Who wouldn't want to color John Byrne, right? Terry Kavanagh and Carl Potts, editors, and Tom DeFalco, editor-in-chief. So this is after Shooter had left the building, which makes sense because I think that was during the Avengers West Coast sign. I have to point this out, hilarious, his radar sense, and it's radar from MASH show. Nobody under a certain age would probably get that joke, but there it is. And that is such a scream because Daredevil's blind, and he just, like, smashes right into this wall. I guess his radar sense is failing him. But how can you not think that's funny? I don't know. It just kind of is. And then here comes Joker. It's funny because I normally don't like John Byrne's version of the Joker as much as I like everything by John Byrne. And I kind of prefer this, like, way exaggerated, creepy, crooked tooth version right here to what he did in, like, his Superman run. Oh my God, Thor. Like, these characters look so awesome in this style. I would love to have, like, action figures based on this version of the characters. I think they look so cool. And I love the egregious use of the DC characters. I mean, we have Joker, now we have the leader, and it gets even better. This is hysterical. Wolverine's sitting here boasting and, like, all this stuff, and then somebody just rips his skeleton off out from inside his body. Like, how grotesque is that? McGilla-Grodd, love it. An amalgam of Gorilla Grodd and McGilla. I it's, even though it's in this exaggerated form, I just love to see this combination of Terry Austin and John Byrne. on Colossus with the way they drew the shine of his armor. I just live for that. Like, I think that is so cool. So now you have Metallo, who's going by Metallo, obviously for copyright reasons, and this really fun, cute version of Wonder Woman down here, whose really only exaggeration is probably her really big boob, but other than that, pretty on point. Like, I could see a series of her like that. I love that Captain America, like, he put the A on his forehead as a lowercase a instead of the uppercase A, and then the uppercase A. Like, wasn't it normally a star on his chest? And then we have Casper and Wendy. Oh my god, I love Casper so much. And then, of course, then you think about the fact that he's a ghost and he must have died, and that's kind of sad, but I don't think you really think about that overly too much when you're a kid. This is such a great John Byrne trope, too, using the bottom of the panel as, like, the floor for the characters. Oh my god, I loved his Avengers West Coast so much. It's so cool to see Mockingbird and Hawkeye. John Byrne, give us an else one. Do you like a cartoon version? Make it someone's having a dream and they get to see these exaggerated version of the X-Men and X-Men else one. Please. I know you watch my channel. I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh, Quasar. This is just so fun. Does this not, he loves that he calls him Motorola instead of Quasar. I don't get that joke, but whatever. Sometimes John Byrne's humor is a little cerebral for me. I know people are probably cracking up at some of these remarks of knowing Byrne the way Byrne fans do. That is good. Adam West Batman, one of my favorite Batmans of all time. I know, say what you will, corny, slapstick, campy. I live for it. Of course, I love the dark and grim and gritty stuff. I cannot wait to see the latest Batman with Robert Pattinson. I'm loving that it's being so successful and so well received. And can we, like, start a campaign for Best Picture? Has a comic book movie ever won Best Picture? I mean, The Dark Knight was probably the closest one to it. Forgive me. I must have something in my throat. Anyway, here. Okay, so we're done with Byrne. That was magical, majestical. I love it. Like, we could stop right here and you could just run over to eBay and order What the Number 6 for yourself. But we're going to continue on with Chicago Labor, Origin of the Pulverizer. It's funny when somebody else lampoons their characters, but I think it's even funnier when a company lampoons their own characters. Or did I just say the same thing? I think it's funny when somebody else does it, but it's even funnier when the main company does it. Hilary Barta, co-writer and artist. Doug Rice, co-writer. I know Doug Rice more as, like, I want to say an inker or a penciler. And I think he pencils something back here. But Hilary Barta, I love his art. He's got a very, like, fun, cartoony style. Did a lot of inking, too. His storytelling is really good. He has a very pleasing style to the eye. I feel like he lent his talents to a lot of sort of, like, either kids or just humorous books, because obviously his style lends itself very well to it. And I think there's some fun zipatone screen happening. Yeah, like there. And I love it because these are, like, whammo, but these guns are, like, totally on point. You can totally tell he used reference for these, as opposed to just drawing whatever the hell he wants and making it up. You know, I think, and Ed Piskor said this recently, and actually it was a nugget of wisdom that I'm taking with me, because I feel like when I'm drawing a script, I often feel the pressure to make things, like, super accurate and on point. And as he pointed out, like, especially back in the day, a lot of artists just make things up. I think the key is, like, believability. Like, if you're drawing New York, I think everyone has in their mind's eye a vision of sort of what New York looks like, as long as you're putting in skyscrapers and, like, crowded, busy streets and things like that. I think you can establish something without doing it so on the nose. However, I do think it's better, especially with things like guns and cars, like, if they're based on real things. It sort of grounds it more in reality, if that makes sense. That is a fun version of the Punisher. I love it. And I'm so mad for about the Punisher having his emblem like appropriated by hate groups or whatever. Like, screw that noise. Own it, Marvel. You created it. Don't let someone steal it from you. Right? Just come out with a new Punisher, big blaze and emboldened, and you own it. That's my little tirade about that. Howard Mackey, writer. Adam Blaustein, penciler. Chris Ivey, inker. Brad K. Joyce, letters. Roger Stern, colorist. Okay, so this is the book for... Roger Stern is a writer, so it's very interesting that he's coloring this. So I think this is either people pitch hitting or just like, hell yeah, I want to color a Marvel comic once in my career. I cannot think of this character's name, but I can see in my mind's eye his entry in the Marvel universe, and I always thought he was a cool ass looking character. Feel free to comment, y'all. I know I should know it. Okay, here we go. So Peter B. Gillis story, Doug Rice pencils. See, I knew he was an artist. Hilary Barta inks and most of the good jokes. I love that. That's so cute. Kelly A. Corvese colors. See, Kelly Corvese, it was also an editor. So this is clearly a Swamp Thing. It's called Man Thing. So it's an amalgam of Swamp Thing and Man Thing. No, Swamp Thing. Oh my god, what the hell was the... I can't even think of what the DC one is called now. Man Thing and Swamp Thing? They can't be two things. There's no way. Oh my gosh. What a great time to have a brain collapse. This art is really pretty. It's funny because it really evokes like sort of the fine line art that you were seeing from... you know, like Wrightson and Veitch and Bissett on Swamp Thing. Okay, I guess it is Swamp Thing. So weird. I love how DC and Marvel have, like, things like that. Like, their own knockoff versions of each other's properties. How cool is this art? Like, this art is so cool. I would love to see this art on a legit Swamp Thing story. Very cool. Love that. What a way to end the book with this Marvel classic, Strange Tales of Wailing. Do we get an art credit? Oh, even the ad on the back is, oh my gosh, it's like the version of in old comics. They always used to have like the 98-pound wakeling on the beach getting sand kicked in his face, the Charles Atlas like diet or whatever. And then you can turn into this. A participant in the Folsom Street Fair. So very cool. Love it. Sore wants a haircut with the Man Thing. Okay, now there has to be a comic book called Man Thing. Maybe that will be my bootleg parody. Although I guess it's already been done, so why do it again? Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button, share my content, and I'll bring you some more later. Thanks, guys.